How is everybody? How is everybody? Check, check. Better? You guys can hear me okay? Zoom, I'm hoping you can hear me. All right. Everybody's doing good? Summertime team meeting. You guys, can you tell? All right. Well, chances are we could probably get done early. Does anybody have a problem with that? No? Okay. There's never a problem with that. All right, let's get started. Bucket fills. We got a small group today, so somebody give me one bucket fill, at least one. Does everybody know what a bucket fill is?
Give a definition. I think I know about it.
All right, definition, real quick. It's just it's gratitude for me. It's like somebody or something that I'm grateful for here. Carrie.
Yeah, like sometimes some of us have empty buckets because we're busy or drained. And so when someone fills your bucket, that's like extending a ladder down into a dark pit, right?
All right.
Helping someone out. But I want to shout out Robin because she is a really great example of who we are culturally. And she has this gift of attracting like-minded people. And she was able to introduce Emily and myself to Mary, who's sitting by Robin, who is so much like us. And I just want to thank her for being not only a great example of what we stand for, but just being a really good human.
Right on. Thank you, Carrie. And agreed. Yeah, you guys can applaud if you'd like. Yeah, that's fine. Any other bucket fills today?
I could name specific people, but it's lots of people. That my birthday was recently. So lots of people messaged me, dropped off stuff, brought notes, cards, plants, and it feels good for people to celebrate us, I think. And I've been in celebrating with some clients, some closings that took a while. That's like a bucket fill. My Jamie's not here, Jamie Jones, but I heard she gave me a bucket fill last time because she gave me the little award. But my bucket fill, I want to fill hers too, is she helps me with way more than just TC stuff. She goes above and beyond almost all the time. It's fun to partner up with a TC who's like, what do you want me to do? And let me, she just goes all out, talks to the clients. They all love her. She makes me look good. We make each other look good. And that's a big blessing too.
Nice.
So bucket filling friends and people here and people everywhere, and her for helping me with lots and lots of clients lately. We've both been working a ton and it feels good. And I couldn't do it without her. So
nice.
Jamie, I'll have to go tell her upstairs.
Jamie, your bucket's been filled.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else? All right. Let's see. Oh, we're already a preferred partner. Warren's here. Warren's right there. Warren, come on up.
Okay,
Hello.
sweet. So yeah, thank you so much for having us and for allowing us to sponsor. Most important thing, there is food in the back, and it's not pizza that's gonna weigh you down or like donuts that are gonna weigh you down either. It's some good quality stuff from our favorite Costco. So it's basically just to keep you guys going through the day. We know you're super busy, and we also want to prioritize your guys' day, keep the energy high and everything. So there is food in the back for whenever you guys are ready. And so Daxie and I co-own McCarthy Media, and we do everything, all things listing, photography, videography. We do like the Matterports, the drones, everything you guys might need for listings specifically. And so what we really bring to the table is not just me, not just Daxie. We also bring our team together, one for availability, but also two for culture, and really being able to be a good interface between you guys and your clients. Like bring in someone who also represents your brand and represents how you run business is something that's very important to us. So, Bessie, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, but I would like to go off of like how all of you said that you like to work with great people. We hire great people. We hire people that we also want, to be kind to you, to be kind to the homeowners and just everybody in general. So yeah, we just would really love to work with all of you guys.
Yeah, overall, like culture is a big thing, especially like for us specifically, and of course in your guys' business and representing you, representing your brand, and being able to carry that through and like do our absolute very best to help facilitate a great referral source from your homeowners, like Robin specifically. Like we've been working together for a while, and it's been awesome being able to like meet your clients and really help out on the listing side of things. Thank you so much for having us as well.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's been way fun. Like we see tons of friends like Tammy over here and just like lots of friends. And it's been honestly really, really fun to be able to see you guys grow, see you absolutely crush it, and then being able to help support you guys. So, but yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us. And oh yeah, yeah.
A lot of realtors have rentals, or our clients have rentals, and these guys will photograph your rental, your Airbnb. When I got my first couple rentals, I was taking pictures and I was like, wait a minute, why am I taking these pictures? Let me get my photographer in here to take the pictures. Because you know what I mean? Every time you have a new tenant, you repost it on rentler.com or whatever you do. So if you guys have clients with properties that whether they've owned them for 10 years or not, ask them if they've had professional photos done. And these guys will do that for you. So that's another, property managers and people with rentals, these guys can take care of them and make their stuff look way better, help them get more rent.
Good stuff.
Absolutely. Reducing vacancies for Airbnbs, listings, stuff like that. It's what we do and what we love to do. But in any case, if you want to like connect a little bit more in the back after the meeting and everything, we'll be here and definitely grab some food. So
Thanks for having us. Always happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, McCarthy Media. And guys, always put a plug in, support our preferred vendors. Okay? They give you food. Oh, cultural icon of the week, Rebecca Turpin. Maybe I jumped on this too quick. It gets snuck up. Well, Rebecca, get up here.
I read it.
So I'll read this. You guys can read along. We're thrilled to shine a spotlight on the extraordinary Rebecca Turpin, cultural icon of the week, top performing agent with a heart as big as her talent. Rebecca is a true embodiment of the Keller Williams culture. As an influential member of the ALC, Rebecca leads the charge as chair of KW Cares Committee. Thank you for that. Where her passion for service comes to life, from organizing impactful community events to rallying support for meaningful causes. Her leadership consistently brings our mission to where we live into action. Becca's energy is infectious. It is. It is. She's outgoing, deeply compassionate, always ready to lend a listening ear, whether she's supporting fellow agents, which I just saw you doing, spending time with her family and friends, building lasting connections with clients. She leads with heart, integrity, and unwavering commitment to others. So thank you, Rebecca, for elevating our culture and inspiring those around you every single day. You are what makes KW South Valley special.
Hey, thank you.
So I got it a few weeks ago and I picked you, and I'm supposed to bring a little trophy that I thought I was keeping and apparently gets passed around. Bring it. I'm sorry.
Robin.
So I owe
it's
you
okay.
a really neat trophy that you get it's not a trophy, it's a statuette of people helping push each other, and they're pushing a big stone. But I had to pick you because, and I wanted to share with you guys, when I was new here, I had an open house next door to Rebecca's house, and we kind of knew who each other was, but she came over, oh, I'm the neighbor and I work with you. I'm like, oh, do we work together? But she was so friendly and so nice. And here I am listing a house next to her house. And sometimes an agent might be bratty, I don't know, but that's not her. And since then, we've done a lot of yoga. We have shed some tears. We've talked about deep things, which is, if you're my friend, you're going to do that. And she did the same thing. And we've gone really close. And I just appreciate you and love you. And I love working with you. Yeah.
Right on.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Congratulations. Now, the way I understand that is, Rebecca, you're going to keep an eye out and you're going to choose the culture. Is that how we're doing it, right? Rebecca will choose the cultural icon for next month. So cool. Congratulations. Birthdays. Let's see. I'm looking to see who's in here. I know Samantha. I saw Samantha this morning. Samantha McNamara. Lita is actually today. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. And I don't see Olga or Liliana, which have birthdays tomorrow. So if you see them, wish them a happy birthday. So happy birthday, Lita. I'm looking for Brock or somebody from the Lassic team. Oh, it is a video. Do I just use the mouse and hit that little triangle?
Hey everyone, it's Brock Lassick here with the Lassick team at Cross Country Mortgage with your June 2025 market update brought to you by Loans Elevated. First up is mortgage rates. The good news is rates have remained stable and possibly even ticked down a little bit since their uptick in April. Now, while recession fears are growing across the nation, which typically drives mortgage rates down, bond market dynamics are keeping rates elevated and may keep them that way for the foreseeable future. But the good news is markets seem stable and we're likely closer to a drop in rates than we are to another spike in rates. Now for the Utah housing market. We saw median list prices and median sales prices both increase over the last month by about 2.5%. These are very healthy gains. And in addition, we continue to see median days on market drop, which means homes are selling faster and for more money. Despite homes selling faster, inventory continues to climb. Now, our team suspects that this might be because home builders are listing all of their homes on the MLS, whereas in previous market conditions, they were only listing 1 or 2 of their homes per development. The good news is this market continues to support home buyers. Most buyers are still able to negotiate significant seller concessions to pay for closing costs, interest rate buydowns, and temporary rate buydowns, which is helping a lot with the affordability issues due to the rates remaining high. Our featured loan program this month is our bank statement loan program. This is a perfect solution for self-employed borrowers or those people that just simply don't have the taxable income on paper to qualify for a mortgage. With as little as 10% down, you can qualify by using the last 12 months of personal or business bank statements with no tax returns required to qualify to buy a home. This program offers much needed flexibility for self-employed buyers to get into homeownership. Now, to close things out, I'm very happy to announce that I've finally completed my ebook on holistic mortgage planning. The book is titled A Simple Path to Financial Freedom, and it will go into all of the details you need to understand to craft a mortgage plan and find real success in investing in real estate. You can grab your free copy at hmpbook.com. That's like holistic mortgage planning book, hmpbook.com. Feel free to share with your family and friends. I think it's a very valuable read. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Brock. All right, cool. Good stuff, right? You guys understand all that mortgage stuff?
Yes.
All right. Okay, I must have screwed something up being my clicker ain't working. He doesn't know I do this on purpose. I actually know what to do. No, really, just kidding. Just kidding. I think this is you now, isn't it, for the social media challenge?
So our social media challenge is still going strong. Week 10 just dropped today. All of our content, again, is dropped on the Home Hub, so make sure to go to kwhomehub.com to access the new weeks of content every Tuesday. We got 4 weeks left. We're ending with a bang, so continue strong, everyone who is still continually participating. We do have a good group who is participating in our contest as well. With that contest, all you have to do is just post for the last 7 days. We go in and check. We just want to encourage you to stay active in social media to help you build your business. And with that, you have the chance to win one of these lovely rewards. We did miss last 2 weeks of drawings for this. We were time crunched, so we're going to do 3 drawings today.
All right. How come my name's not on there?
You never post, do you?
Oh. Robin.
One of those options, hold 1 second and I'll pull it back up. Ooh.
Oh.
Jen.
Janelyn gets redeemed. All right.
There we go. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yep.
Yep. So talk to me or Amy, depending on what you're looking for, and we will get you your reward, whichever one that you select here, one of our business bundle options, or you can also get $100 gift card if you would prefer that as well. Kimber.
All right.
Got a short video from Miss Kimber.
So first things first, please add to the list of things that are hard for millennials doing green screen videos. It has taken me way too long to set this up, figure it out. But now that we're here, I want to show you results. So this is an example of being consistent for 30 days with content that we've been sharing on 100 days of social media and what this could look like. So these are actual results. For 30 days, these are the views. Two things I want to point out. One, non-followers versus followers. It's kind of like listings and buyers. We want this to be somewhere in the middle where we have good representation from the people we're already connected with, but we're getting a lot of eyeballs of people that aren't in our world yet. We love that. So this, yay. This is my first yay. Second yay is that's a lot of views. Third yay is short amount of time. Last thing, and I'm going to come over here so you can see I have 11,000 accounts reached. In 30 days, it's up 33%. So this by itself, yes, it's just like, hey, more people are looking at your Instagram. What we are talking about and what we are teaching is how if you go do this, you now have more eyeballs, more capture, more people that you are now communicating 8x8 36 touch to, and you're growing your database, growing your business. This is 30 days compounded over a quarter, compounded over half a year, compounded over a year. What does that look like? If this isn't your sign to plug into 100 days of social media, tell me what is. Send me a text, 801. Just kidding. I'm putting this on social media, so I don't want to put that out there.
So again, pour into this. Trust us, it's going to work. It's going to help you. We want to cut the burden of not knowing what to post and when to post. So we have all of that ready done for you, and it's all on the Home Hub. So if you just go to kwhomehub.com to our agent hub, you'll see the big black button, the 100 days of content. You'll find all of the content we have created all in there ready to go.
Cool. All right.
Oh, just kidding.
No, you're still on, Ian.
I am teaching a class later today where we're going to be talking about smart plans. This is going to help your conversion. So how to follow up, how to automate that so you never have a lead fall through the crack. This is going to be later today from 1 to 2 p.m. right down here. It is also on Zoom. So feel free to grab that Zoom link from the calendar on the Home Hub.
Thank you, Ian. All right, let's see. Career visioning light 2. Does anybody know what career visioning is? Okay, I know you know. Cool. Anybody in here looking to hire somebody? Okay, if you are, great class to go to. Right, teaching how to find talent. And even if you're not, if you're thinking forward 5 years from now, maybe what your business looks like, and it might be adding someone on, get in and take this light version. It really is good, okay? Trust me on that. 100-day AI powered communication calendar. Actually, I just signed up for this. So learn how to plan 100 days of client communication using ChatGPT. Anybody heard of AI? A couple of you, okay. It's kind of important. We're really diving into this. We got some great resources delivering to you guys. Plug in, don't let it overwhelm you. Just start dipping into some of these classes, okay? Carrie, I see your face on there, so I figured you might want to say something about the centered agent, cultivating.
Oh, yes.
Pres-
You
pow-
guys, We've got a soon-to-be KW agent that is really incredible with mindset. He has such a gift. He's been doing this for years and wants to fulfill this mission of making KW wellness better than it is right now, and which would then better us. So he's going to come and help us be calm and centered in a career that is oftentimes chaotic and stressful. Like I will be introducing him and tell you much more about him that day, but I cannot emphasize the difference. Like, this is a circle. This is one of Gary Keller's 7 circles, is mental health and physical health. It is important to your ecosystem, your balance. So please come, and you'll be very, very glad you did.
Cool. Thank you, Carrie. Observe it's Juneteenth. Juneteenth. Sorry, I always have a hard time saying that word. Freedom Day. So the office is going to be closed. We're observing that next Thursday. Right, so just a heads up. And inbox 0. Oh, this is the one I signed up for. Sorry about the other class. I'll sign up for that too. But this one is getting me inbox 0 for agents. Smart email flow and transaction management. Who could use some help on that? Okay. We're serving this up, guys. Take advantage of it. And now it's on you. Hey, all right. Everybody get a sheet? I'm looking around. Maybe not. I don't know. I set them on a table on this chair over here, thinking that maybe there's a couple pass one over. All right. Hey, who plans on taking a vacation this summer? Okay. So of all the views that raised your hand, do you have a buddy in this office that's going to cover you and cover your fiduciary duties to your clients when you're out of town? You guys have heard me talking about the buddy system? Okay. I like that, right, guys? Get together with that. So if you, listen, I don't care if you want to work when you're on vacation. I tend to work on vacation sometimes, but there's times when we all need to disconnect. And if you have a good relationship with, I'm just calling it a buddy in the office, that if you've got a couple listings, a few buyers going on, that you guys can work and help each other out. I've done it for years in my business and it's great. I know I can, if I want to unplug, I can do that. We got to be careful that, if you go out of town and you've got 3 or 4 listings, you're not available and you get an offer in it, who's going to cover it for you? Okay. People are going to look at me as a broker. I'm going to tell you, be very careful. I can't be available like that. And if it puts me into a limited agency situation. So if you have a listing and then the buyer, you ask me to talk to your seller about the offer. What if the buyer comes from another agent in this office? Puts me I'm a limited agent, right? So I'm just sharing that to make sure that you've got somebody to cover your business when you go. Help each other out, okay? So that being said, let's talk about some rules. I do want to give a shout out to our past former principal broker, Rich Summers. Rich really did a good job of leaving a library of information for me. And I want to thank Rich for that, because a lot of this is not my material. Rich gave me permission to recycle it, and it's just good information that principal brokers and agents can use. So I'm going to go through kind of these rules. He called them laws, rules to follow. First one, guys, pretty simple. Don't write a REPC without having agency first. Everybody understand that? What does that mean? If you're going to go show homes nowadays, right, we got to have agency established before we can go in another house. Everybody agree? Everybody's nodding their head on that. That's the rules. Keep us in compliance with this settlement. Okay. I'm gonna come back to a little bit more on that in agency. The second one, don't put a listing on the market without having all people on title agreeing to your agency agreement. I see this. I get a lot of calls on this. You guys probably have an example of it. You get a call from somebody and, hey, I own the house, and you look on your tax data and it shows John Doe, but then I give Marcel a call. Marcel tells me, oh, it's actually in a trust, or there's somebody else. I don't rely on what I see on the MLS tax. You guys understand that it can sometimes cut off some of the information? So I've probably given you the answer here, but what do? What's a good thing to do before you go out and set a listing appointment, have somebody sign a listing agreement? Find out who's on. How do you find out who's on title? What's the quickest way? Okay. That's what I'm looking for, guys. You utilize your title company. Marcel is in here, so I'm giving Marcel the props on it. He's right upstairs. I'll always say, use Marcel's services. I do. He's a fantastic escrow officer, but I understand you have a relationship with your title. But call your escrow officer. Marcel, I call you all the time. Hey, can you just quick double check, make sure I got it? Especially if it's a trust. Now, if you get a property in a trust, who needs to sign on that? How do you find that out? Trustee. A lot of times what we're dealing with is we have the John Doe and Jane Doe trust, and John and Jane are deceased. How do you find out who needs to sign on it? You need to get you need to be able to have that conversation with your client and say, listen, we're going to need a copy. I don't personally need it, but here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to have my escrow officer give you a call. I'd like him to get that information because he can verify and tell you what document in your trust, successor trust, it's two dots, certification of trust and a document that identifies the successor trustee. Is that right, Marcel? Which is the main. Mainly the trust. So verify that. And any amendments, right? Because just like CC&Rs, you can have a ton of amendments, right? So guys, just, I don't want to harp on that, but just be careful because I see that somebody's got a listing agreement, then, you know, especially in a divorce situation, be very careful. Things can get ugly quickly. So when in doubt, call your title, call me, all right? So now, number 3, if you represent a buyer and write a contract on a listing of someone in the office, including your own listing, you must include the limited agency agreement and have it signed by both buyer and seller prior to presenting the offer. You're not allowed to ask any questions. Talk to me.
So if you have the listing, you can't represent the buyer.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I was thinking that on there too. I should have probably corrected. Did you understand if it's your own listing, can you represent a buyer on that? If you're selling your own house, I'm just going to tell you, no, you can't. You can't be a principal and an agent at the same time. Does that make sense? So if you're selling your own house and a buyer calls you and you can say, oh, I'll just represent the buyer. No, 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 no. No, violation of a lot of stuff. Okay. Does that make sense? Everybody understand that? Now, here's a case on this, and I'm gonna pick on Steve. So Steve is a member of our brokerage, correct? And Emily is a member of our brokerage. She has a listing. Steve has a buyer. They're both in this brokerage. What would you do, Steve? What's your process? You have a buyer. Let's call it the in-house sale.
So one of the first things you have to do before you write an offer, or you have to get a limited agency signed by you. Because you are the limited agent.
Would you need to have it signed by should we have your buyer sign it? And should you just send it with the offer and then we'll have the seller sign it at that time?
The clients have to agree to it as well.
Right. So what I'm getting at, and I see this a lot, and I'll tell myself, I've been guilty of it too. When I've written an offer on another agent's listing in here, is I sit down and I know enough. I take the limited agency document and I say that Emily is representing the seller, I'm representing the buyer, and the broker is limited. I'm a bad example in this because I'm the broker. But anyway, but I would have my buyer sign it, explain it to them. Hey, I'm still representing you. It's just the principal broker is limited. And then I send it in the offer. And I've even been guilty of this. I've included it as an addendum to the contract. Okay. We send it to the seller. Seller's fine, signs everything, and it closes. We're probably okay. But what did I do wrong? Where am I in potential violation? Or it went under contract. Yeah, as an agent. So what I'm getting at here, Section 5 of the REPC says something to the effect, I should have pulled it up, but we don't let, is that both buyer and seller agree that they've got written notice of agency prior to signing the REPC. Okay, so here's what I'm going to recommend when you're dealing with an in-house sale. I'm going to put the onus on the buyer's agent. So if you're representing a buyer and you're going to write an offer on a listing in this brokerage, I would like you to fill out the limited agency agreement separately, okay, separate from the offer. You sign it, have the buyer sign it, send it to me for an electronic signature as the authorized agent. In this case, if Emily is the listing agent, I'm going to call Emily, listen, I'm writing an offer on your property. I'm sending you the limited agency agreement. Can you get that signed before I send the offer? So if her seller signs it, everything, we're good. Okay. Emily, as listing agents here, you're going to need to know, have that conversation with your seller. Say, I'm expecting an offer and we need to establish agency and disclose agency, in this case, that the broker is limited, and get that signed. So Emily, could you do that? Could you have that conversation with your seller? Okay. And then she'll send it back and then I will send the offer. Okay. Question.
Well, we have a lot. Has it ever been an issue having them say, well, we have a lot of offers, we might not pick yours, so we're not going to worry about that? Or has that
No, not usually, because all it is just a disclosure. It has nothing to do with the offer. So as a listing agent, what am I doing? I'm saying, hey, one of the agents in my office sent over a limited agency agreement, so our broker is going to be limited. Again, I'm a bad example here because I'm the broker, but it's kind of the same thing. I'm going to call my seller and say, we need to disclose agency. State law, we need to abide by it, state rule, division rule, whatever you want to call it, right? So in this case, if you end up under contract, you just have to be comfortable with that. And when it's that type of limited agency, I got to say, honestly, they don't really care. They're like, okay, that makes sense. So you guys, I'd like to see a little bit of a change on that. If you need more explanation on it, I'm happy to, but really it's getting that signed by buyer and seller before we start negotiating the offer. Okay? Any questions on it? All right. All right, fourth one. Let's talk about earnest money. Okay, your buyer turns earnest money late. What do? Can you read? Earnest money was due Monday, and you're just going your merry way, and your TC calls and says, hey, we didn't get the earnest money on Monday, but the buyer's dropping the check off in about 20 minutes, and I'll receipt it in. And so that happens. 20 minutes goes by. The earnest money was due Monday. Your buyer was 2 days late, and they just receipted it in today. What do you need to do? Is everything good? Why?
contract is, I don't know if the word's breached, but I think that's the
Potentially, yeah. Your buyers potentially notify the listing agent. I thought something. No, I don't think you need to go so far as doing an addendum if you're comfortable with that, but very minimum, you need to call and let the listing agent know. And I would call and I would follow up with an email. Okay. And then just my opinion, I wouldn't mind Steve chiming in on this. And the reason why Steve, because Steve has been a principal broker and I am appreciative that he's here. And I want to thank you for, it's just great to be able to bounce stuff off of you. So at very minimum, you need to let the listing agent know. And I would do a phone call and I would send it in an email. I'd send a copy of the receipt. Hey, showing it is here. I'm just letting you know that it was deposited late. We apologize, whatever, give an excuse if you want or don't. I don't think we need to do anything further than that. Steve, you have any?
No, it's as long as it's in writing somewhere,
Mhm.
verbal still doesn't matter. I would still recommend using the Earnest app because that makes it all simple.
Yep.
So
just make sure you disclose it, right? Don't, we dodged a bullet there. I don't want to tell the listing agent because that'll come back and bite you. Good?
If the seller wanted to make an issue of them not meeting the terms of the contract, how soon would they need to say it's an issue?
There's a gray area with it, and I don't know. That's probably a better question for an attorney. Could the seller do that? Yeah, the seller could. If you said, hey, I'm sorry, we deposited the earnest money, but it was late, theoretically, the seller could say, you guys are in default. And we're going to request that you're in default of the contract, and we're going to request the earnest money as a penalty. So take it seriously, guys. This state really looks at this, and there's a lot of regulation. We are responsible for their money. Okay. The Earnest app, here's what I'm going to tell you on that. Make sure, do not wait till the last minute. Don't wait till day 4 to do the Earnest app, because theoretically that money's probably not going to be in our account. And I'll let the attorneys deal with that down the road. Get it receipted by day 4. Business days or calendar days? Calendar, correct. Okay. Along with that, what I called being exact with earnest money, here's what I'm seeing happening. Buyer's agent writes an offer and they just put that the earnest money will be, they put check, you know, $5,000 in the form of a check, write a standard REPSI, there's no addendums. And then they go under contract, and then all of a sudden the buyer's agent sends the listing agent a receipt from a title company for the earnest money. See a problem with that? This is probably the most common that I'm running into. What is wrong with that situation? Did the buyer, is the buyer in default or possibly breached? Does the buyer even know? More than likely not, guys. And as an agent, so if you're representing a buyer and you decide that you're going to want to deposit the earnest money with the title company, full stop, you have to do an addendum. And does anybody know what that addendum's called? Thank you, Steve. Somebody's reading it.
Come with the offer.
And it needs, thank you, Robin. Can you send it out? You go under contract, deposit, and then send the addendum over to have it signed. I guess theoretically you could. Does the seller need to sign it? No, they don't, because there's a difference in that. And really the best way to understand it is if the money is held with a brokerage, who can release the earnest money? Brokerage. And who would need to sign on a cancellation? And who makes that decision? Principal broker. Okay, if it's deposited with a title company, who needs to sign for a release of that earnest money? Most title companies, and Marcel, feel free to chime in here, as a title company, you're Switzerland, right? You're neutral. If you get a cancellation, are you going to want both the buyer and the seller to sign before you release the earnest money? Just nod. Right? So that is a change, and some sellers don't want to have to do that. Some brokerages don't want earnest money. So guys, real quick on this, if you're going to use the title company to hold the earnest money, you must do the addendum called the deposit of earnest money at a title company. It's written in there. Get familiar with it. Clear on that? Clear as mud? Okay, good. All right. So that's what I mean, be exact with it. Okay, disclosure of interest. You guys hear me talk about this a lot. Okay, let's see. Robin is buying a property and she's representing a buyer and it's a cash deal. Robin's also going to put 50 grand into this property of her own money and close on it. She's part of an investment, a bunch of investors. She's not going to be on title, but she's the agent on it, but she's going to have, should Robin do a disclosure of interest on it? I was seeing heads nod. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Interest. I was talking with somebody at the division just the other day. We were talking about this and the importance of it is the disclosure of interest. Now it's really easy. If you're selling your own property or you're selling a property for a relative or a spouse is considered a relative, okay? And whether you're on title or you're not on title, do the disclosure of interest. And when should that be done? If you get an offer, okay, you're selling your spouse's property, but you're not, it was investment property that they had. You're not on title, you're the listing agent. You're going to do the disclosure of interest. I send you an offer on that. It's a great offer, man. I mean, it's just cash because I'm an awesome guy. I'm sending you an offer that you can't refuse. You're going to sign it. Should you just sign that offer? Why, Rebecca? Yeah. So everybody knows what happened. And theoretically, if, that's in this case, if Robin was the listing agent on it, send that addendum, counter it. So send it as an addendum, adding that disclosure of interest in. Okay, get it in early, guys. I think the, division might give you, but if you wait to the last minute, like right before you close and like, ooh, we need to do disclosure of interest, ouch, you're going to end up in the the newsletter that comes out quarterly. Everybody know the newsletter? You guys all know the newsletter because I know you, the only section that you read. This is until I became a principal broker, it was the only section I read. Okay. When in doubt, disclose.
So just as you're saying that, on the code of ethics, it is actually written in this code. I can't remember what number it is, maybe 4 or 5 or 6. It actually says the exact words that it has to be sent over with the offer. And we found someone guilty of it because they didn't send it over with the offer at one time.
Good point. So not only do we have, we got its division, but we also have the code of ethics that we're contractually bound to abide by, right? So just don't put yourself in that situation. These rules are just designed to, hey, just make it easier. And I try to do stuff that I see a lot. We all make mistakes or we get forgetful on stuff. If you forget to send it over, just get it done right away, right? Don't wait till the last minute or just you think, oh, I'll try to get through quality control and not have it done, okay? All right. This one is just me, don't practice real estate if your license it expires and you didn't renew on time. This is not me yelling at you guys in here. I'm yelling at the people that wait till the last minute to renew your license. How often do you have to renew your license with the division? Every 2 years. How many hours of CE do you need? 18. Who said plus the fair housing? Okay. For the division? I'm talking about division of real estate. I'm going to come back to what you said. Through the division, you need 18, right? How many of that needs to be core? Okay. I'm assuming everyone in here, when you got your license, you took the 12-hour new agent course. So that is done. And you're telling me you got to renew every 2 years. You need 18 hours of CE, of which 9 has to be core. What is the one core class that you need to take for the division?
The 3-hour program. It's the other one, residential required class.
Mandatory. Every month I say, I got 40 hours of CE, but did you take the mandatory course? Now I'm going to give you a little hint. If you go even on the new division website, they have it on there. It tells you what you need to take, the mandatory residential course. Does the division care about you taking the code of ethics? Does the division care about you taking fair housing? No. Okay. So we know the division. Guys, just stay on top of it. Make sure you're getting your core CE and just realize that I'm going to take the mandatory course. And there's there's 3 of them. There's residential, commercial, and property management. Any of those 3 you can take. Okay, so every 2 years. Now, I heard somebody else say code of ethics in fair housing class. Okay, so we have the division of real estate over here. What else? We also have some requirements with the Salt Lake Board of Realtors. And for them to just really make it difficult on us, they decided to do a 3-year cycle. This doesn't coincide with anything with the division. Every 3 years to satisfy, which just started at the beginning of this year, so 25 to 28, to satisfy your requirements to be a member of the board, what do you have to do? Fair housing, which is new this year. Most people don't know that. There's a 2-hour CE, I believe it's core. But what's the other one you need to do? You guys have already said. Code of ethics, because everybody thinks code of ethics with the division. No, it's the board that requires the code of ethics. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I'm going to say, just please keep an eye on it. 6 months before does everybody know when your license renews? Okay. This month. Are you on my list? You got your CE done? You did your mandatory course? Okay. Well, you got time. You got time. Okay. I will usually give you a 60-day reminder and I'll give you a 30-day reminder and I'll text you, just tell me, just make it easy, because I have had agents, every month I have it, where an agent does not get their license renewed by the end of the month. If you do not get your license renewed by the end of the month and you have buyer brokers signed and you have listings, you need to call me, because you effectively can't communicate with your clients. You don't have a real estate license. So don't put me in that position. Don't put yourself more importantly in that position. Okay. All right.
What happens to the listing when it does happen though?
When they don't
Yeah, if they don't renew.
If they don't renew,
The listing automatically falls under him.
it's under me,
'Cause
right?
it's-
His listing is with the brokerage, right? You guys sign a buyer broker, technically it's with just call me KW Southbound. I can't pay it too. If you don't have a license legally, I can't, and it closes, I cannot pay you until your license is active, okay? So just, don't nuts around with it. I did a broker moment on it a couple months ago, just kind of going through. I know it gets a little bit confusing. Just look at division. Not so concerned about Salt Lake Board. You got plenty of time there. So here's a quick rule of thumb. Every 2 years when you renew, take a mandatory residential class, take a code of ethics class, and the fair housing class. Right there. There's 8 hours of core CE. So just by knocking out your 2-year requirement with the division, you will knock out the 3-year requirement for the board.
That class in here.
We do. We just did in December. We just did. We're going to try to do it once a year. There's other places. It's real easy to do. There's free CE on some place called ARTI. I don't know how to do that, but everybody tells me it's free. But I'd encourage you to just go. We're trying to do enough that if you pay attention and come here enough, you'll get your CE requirements. So we'll probably bring in this fall and do another. We had Curtis come in. Who was here for Curtis's class? Because we talked a lot about that settlement stuff. When he did the mandatory residential, Curtis Bullock from Salt Lake Board. It was a really good class. So, all right. Name of the brokerage. I know you guys do this. I'm speaking to the choir, but I see referral agreements all the time that come from Mississippi. You got a connection with it. They originated and they just write the referral agreement is Robin Buckwalter with Keller Williams. And then that comes to me for electronic signatures. Because I got a sign on it as the receiving broker. Are we Keller Williams in this building? No. In the eyes of the division, who are we? KW South Valley Keller Williams. Just help me out with that stuff if you can, okay? But I see it on referral agreements when you're doing addendums and on your social media, because I still see it out there, guys. I lurk on social media, but I see advertisements as Keller Williams South Valley, all that. I'm working on it, and I think I told you that before. I'm going to work to change the name of the brokerage to where it is just KW South Valley, so we don't physically have to write. You won't have to change signs or logos or anything, so give me some time. Okay, perform your fiduciary duties with exactness. And I just wrote them in there because we got loyalty, obedience, full disclosure, confidentiality, reasonable care, and diligence. Now, I do want to just scenarios with it is you as a listing agent, okay? And you go out of town and your TC is helping you and you get, an offer on a property and there's other showings on it, guys. You need to have communication with your sellers of how do you want me to handle if we get an offer and we've still got showings or if we get multiple offers. Can you just flat out tell everybody that, hey, I just received another offer on this? You probably shouldn't. Should you have a conversation with your seller first to discuss that, hey, if I received an offer and we got another showing on it, well, we want to wait for that showing to get through there. Just be careful. And that showing that schedules the show tonight and you got an offer in hand, do you have permission to tell that person, hey, we do have another offer? Did I just confuse everybody? Have conversations with your listing agent, with your sellers. Yeah. Yeah, be careful what you say. And this is not, and I'm not, and I know I got one TC in here, and the TCs know this, is to make sure if you're using a transaction coordinator, communicate with them. If they're communicating with the seller on your behalf on some things, make sure that they understand what they can talk about and what they can't from the seller. Keep them involved. Make sense? Okay. So, yes, fiduciaries. And lastly, and hey, we got 10 minutes to get. I'm going to keep you here for 10 minutes going over this one. Pay your dues on time. Rich kind of joked, you're not going to get in trouble if you do. Well, you could eventually. But what am I talking about when I say pay your dues on time? What dues? Who do you owe dues to? Yeah. Yeah. You do have,
They want you to get it all on.
yeah. Just if you're not set up, and I'm pretty sure everybody here, I got a couple stragglers that are on your monthly MLS fees, right? Which is just went up a couple, 51, 52. Make sure it's on auto pay. And you probably already stood. When are your board dues due? Yes. Just leave it at that. Just pay them now. And win a Mustang. There's on that.
Over your.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. Yes. For the
Yeah, if you do a donation to RPAC, you can enter in there. And I will give a little plug. I'm a big supporter of RPAC. If you're not, that's fine. It's not, you're not obligated to, guys, but we have, and I'm talking about Utah, we have a great, I'm just going to call it, we have great RPAC people that go up and do a lot of lobbying, interviewing candidates and looking at that to help preserve private property rights, which is obviously in our best interest, help our industry. And you guys can assume it takes money to do that, doesn't it? So whether you're doing a major donor thing of $1,000 a year or you just give one time a year, I'm going to encourage you to seriously consider doing that, because I just think we have tremendous support from our local realtor political action committee. So enough said on that. Anybody have any questions, anything?
No.
9 minutes early? All right, we're done. We're done.